Now, Man of Steel, you guys, was my most anticipated movie of 2013. So when I heard the reviews started coming in, I immediately got so excited. I went and checked it out, and I was... After I went and saw this film, screw you, Rotten Tomatoes. Screw you. Man of Steel. It is the origin story how Clark Kent, also known as Kal-El, became Superman and found his place in the world. I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. I think Man of Steel is very underrated film. I love this movie. And this is coming from someone who classifies himself as not a Superman fan. I understand the impact Christopher Reeve's Superman left onto the world and for the superhero genre. I understand that. But as Superman as a whole, as a comic book hero, I never really was a fan of because he's invincible. 9 out of 10 when he had a villain, I just felt like, oh, it's Superman. He's gonna come on top because he's invincible. But I like this Superman because this Superman was more grounded in reality. Well, after Man of Steel, I would class myself as a fan of Superman. The film opens up on Krypton, and I have to say, the opening of this movie is one of the best openings I have ever seen in a superhero movie. Now, when it comes to the action hits, it is non-stop. I had no issue with it. I love the sort of relentless action towards the last 45 minutes. It just made things seem so realistic and sort of chaotic and just grounded in reality. What I also liked is most of the time in these superhero movies, they always take place in one spot. But since Superman can fly the way he flies, I like how we're fighting up in space, but then we're fighting Metropolis. Poor Metropolis. We're literally fighting all over the world. No place is safe. I also like how this is sort of a different approach to the character of Lois Lane. I thought Amy Adams was a great choice, and she did such a great job as Lois Lane. I thought Hans Zimmer's score for this film was absolutely beautiful. It was definitely a different approach for a Superman movie, but this is a very different approach of a Superman movie. I thought Kevin Costner was so good as Jonathan Kent. He has one scene in this film. I was on the verge of crying. There were 3 times I almost cried during this film. The 4th time, well, let's just say it wasn't almost. I thought Henry Cavill was fantastic as Superman. I will admit, Man of Steel, it's not a perfect film. There are issues with it. I wasn't as attached to the characters as I would have liked to have been when the giant action was coming on. I have to say, I was a little unimpressed with Michael Shannon in this film as General Zod. Before you go crazy, let me explain. He does give a good performance in this film, but for me, it was just good. By now, there have been so many super villains and so many actors who have played villains just so menacing and so well. For a character like General Zod, who's bringing so much destruction, he wasn't very memorable. I left the theater thinking anyone could have played General Zod. I would say the girl who played Fiora, she was way more menacing and way more evil than anything General Zod did throughout the entire film. I had such a fun time with this film that when it comes down to the flaws, I really just don't care. You know, it's action-packed and it's a spectacle to watch. As the score goes, I'm gonna give Man of Steel a 4 out of 5. It's a great Kickstarter. It lays a great foundation to go places with, but to also improve. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here, you guys. So until next time, I'm the Slasher Movie Reviewer, and you guys just been slashed.